Welcome to Alive and Well, the podcast for the new era of high achievers. You're done burning out, and you're ready to lead, work, and live in a rhythm that honors both your brilliance and your body. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a trial attorney turned nervous system strategist, and I've lived the burnout story. I know what it's like to chase your goals at the expense of your well-being. And I also know it doesn't have to be that way. Here, we're redefining success. It's where productivity feels peaceful, boundaries feel like freedom, and energy comes from within. Each week, I'll share practical tools for nervous system regulation, time mastery, and somatic strategies so you can show up with clarity, calm, and confidence in every part of your life. Because you, my friend, were given a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So here's to life and living it fully. This is the path to feeling alive and well. Let's dive in. What's up, you guys? It's Michelle here. Welcome to Alive and Well. So glad to have you here. Happy almost New Year if you're listening to this in real time. I think this is a week where so many of us, or at least I'll speak for myself, I just feel that mix of like reflection, and I feel excited and energized and full of anticipation for all that's happened in the last year, and then also what I'm excited about that's coming in the year ahead. And if you're anything like me or the women that I tend to attract and work with, driven, thoughtful, deeply committed women, you've probably spent years focusing on all of those hard work, good work ethic type habits. And those are great. The planning is great. The output is great. The performing, the systems, the metrics, like all of that has a place. I am your type A friend who gets it. But as someone who has walked through burnout myself and helped hundreds of women regulate their nervous systems and transform their habits and rebuild their capacity, there's something that I know so deeply, and it's the soft work that holds everything together. Soft work rituals, not these cute little add-ons, not these luxuries, not these like, if I have time things. I get it. We all have a lot on our plate. I'm talking about soft work rituals that are these small little foundational behaviors that shape your energy and your mindset and your clarity and ultimately your ability to show up sustainably. So these are the things that create the conditions for high performance. And for some reason, they're the things that go first when life starts to get busy. So what I want to do today on this last episode of 2025 is I want to walk through 5 different soft work rituals that have changed everything for me. And I believe that they're going to help you to shift how you move through your days in 2026. So let's jump right in. Ritual number 1. In 2026, y'all, we are going to start our day with intention, not our inbox. Your inbox represents everyone else's priorities, right? Everyone else's priorities, all the things they need done and want from you and want responses to and replies to. And that's not how we're starting our day. Your day deserves to begin with your priorities, not everyone else's. Within the first 8 minutes of waking up, your nervous system is calibrating its baseline for the entire day, you guys. If the first thing you do is grab your phone and scroll or open your email or check the news or check Slack or whatever you do on your phone first thing in the morning, you are immediately placing yourself into a state of reactivity and sympathetic activation, fight or flight, right? Micro stressors your system is not ready for. So instead, take 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes, and just check in with yourself before you check in with the rest of the world. And just ask yourself, like, man, what matters most to me today, right? How do I want to feel as I move through my day today? What's something that I'm going to get done today that's going to feel like a huge win. And maybe it's just making a phone call or making an appointment or cleaning out a drawer or, finishing a work product or getting back to somebody, closing some sort of loop, right? You'd be amazed by how much clarity, calm, and intention that creates. And it's one of the rituals that I'm really going to be honing in on for myself in 2026. Just a simple nervous system check-in before input starts hitting my system. So that's the first ritual. Ritual number 2 is scheduling some short breaks, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes between calls and meetings. I cannot tell you how many high achieving that I work with feel like they hit a wall at like 2 or 3 p.m. And it's not because they're necessarily doing too much. It's because there has been zero recovery between all of their stuff every day, right? All the stressors. So all the meetings, all the decisions, all the transitions, every single one of those creates a micro activation in your body. And without any sort of discharge time built in, those micro activations will accumulate into your stress load. So scheduling 2-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute breaks between your calls and your meetings is physiologic, right? It gives your diaphragm space to reset, especially if you're going to do some breathing in this time. It lowers your cortisol, widens your window of tolerance. It will improve your ability to make decisions and avoid the brain fog, right? It'll improve executive function. And you come into your next call, meeting, Zoom, what have you, clearer and steadier and grounded instead of carrying all the residue from the last one, right? And just like being on that hamster wheel. So I think if you applied just this one ritual next year, it's going to make a big difference for you. Your nervous system's going to thank you. Ritual number 3 is turning off notifications on your phone after a certain time. So simple, right? We know how much of a difference this can make, but will we actually do it in 2026? Your brain is not designed for these constant alerts, right? Every notification, even if you don't open it, you guys, just seeing an email come through or a Slack notification triggers this small orienting response in our nervous system, and our brain has to figure stuff out, right? Is this important? Is this a threat? What if they need me to respond to them right now? What does this mean for me? How much time is this going to take? All of those are tiny little spikes of vigilance. And when it happens over and over and over, right, in the evening hours, in the early morning hours, and then throughout the day, it keeps our system in this light activated state instead of allowing it to downshift, which is especially important in the evening as we prepare our body for a restful night's sleep. So choose a time, right? Choose a time. Maybe it's after 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., whatever, and turn off notifications. And it's not about being unavailable, right? It's about setting boundaries to protect your health and your sleep. And it creates this psychological spaciousness. And I promise you, it will restore your presence, and it lets your nervous system complete its stress cycle before you go to bed, retraining your body to trust that it's okay to end the workday at a certain time, right? And we'll pick it back up tomorrow or on Monday or what have you. And this is one of the first boundaries that I really set a few years ago when I wanted to help my body transition from work to home time. And we talk about it inside a Burnout Recovery Blueprint because having some sort of ritual to help your body transition instantly reduces anxiety, and then in the evening hours, sleep disruptions and emotional reactivity. So that's the third one. Setting a time where you're going to turn off all of the notifications, or even better yet, just put your phone away. The fourth ritual I want to talk about is setting boundaries around your energy, not just your time. We've been talking about this quite a bit lately on the podcast because I think it's so important. So many of us are taught or try to manage our time, right? And we can't actually manage time. Time is constant. The clock is ticking regardless of what we are doing, right? We cannot manage time. There's 24 hours in a day. That's it. We're not going to get more hours in a day. We don't have the capacity or the ability to create time. However, we can certainly manage our energy and what we do in that time and how well we use it. So we are going to set boundaries in 2026 around our energy, not just our time. Time boundaries, these are things that don't work, right? Are like, I'm available until, 4 p.m. I can take a meeting at 10. Energy boundaries are way more about tuning in to your capacity, tuning into the bandwidth of your nervous system in any given moment, and then setting boundaries around that, right? So maybe it's that, I don't take meetings back to back. I have a 10-minute buffer between them, or I decline requests that require heavy emotional labor that I don't have capacity for, every week out of the month. Or maybe it's like a boundary, like I don't schedule really decision heavy tasks on days where I know I'm already going to be taxed, right? Energy boundaries require us, one, to slow down enough to check in on what we have the bandwidth for. They require us to look ahead, whether it's cycle syncing or something else. And they also require us to be more honest. They require us to be more accurate, more protective, because the truth of the matter is that your nervous system doesn't care how full your calendar is. It doesn't care. It cares how full you are, how full your nervous system is, right? How full your mental load is, your bandwidth is. And when you begin setting boundaries based on that capacity, instead of just like, yeah, there's blank space in my calendar, plug it in, put it in, fill it up, right? I'm available. If we start to really take inventory on our capacity instead of just our time availability, your life is going to become exponentially more sustainable. And then finally, if you have the ability to do this, I could not recommend it more. I started doing this, I think 3 years ago, and it made a huge difference for me. Now, I get it. When I was working at a huge law practice, I didn't have the privilege of doing this. But I did what I could, right? So maybe it's not a full day, but let me tell you what it is first, and then we'll talk about it. So the last ritual, I think it's going to make such a big difference, is choosing at least one day a week with no internal meetings. No internal meetings. So get creative. If for you it's a half day, if for you it's a 2-hour block that you can, either start or end your week with no internal meetings, start there. It's something. But this is like a nervous system Sabbath for your work brain. And those of us who are high achievers and high performers, we need uninterrupted focus time to do our best thinking. But when we are stuck in meeting after meeting, especially all those internal meetings, it fragments our attention, it depletes our cognitive resources. So just choose a meeting-free day or a meeting-free block in your week. And by doing that, block it off now. Go through your calendar. I already did this for the rest of 2026, or for all of 2026. And I blocked off time each week where I'm not taking coaching calls. I'm not taking meetings with my team. I'm not taking discovery calls. Nothing. Because during that time, I'm giving my brain deeper focus, lower activation, fewer social demands, right? I'm giving myself space to work on my business and not just in my business. Strategic thinking, right? Creativity. All of that requires space, and having a day or a block of that internal stillness, it creates so much clarity that affects your entire week. And if you can bookend those times in your calendar, like either put it on a Monday morning, right, where you don't have to like jump right into meetings when you get to the office, you can plan out your week, or at the end of the week, right, where you can really use that time to be intentional about setting up your next week. It's not that we need more time, you guys. It's that we need fewer interruptions. And this is it's a soft ritual, but it directly will increase your output and it will decrease your overwhelm at the same time. And that's a trade-off I'm here for. Okay, so those are 5 rituals. I think they can tend to look kind of gentle on the surface, but y'all give them a try, right? They create these profound shifts inside of your nervous system, and it'll help you protect your bandwidth, reduce your cognitive load, lower your stress chemistry. And then on the flip side, it'll increase your clarity and your creativity and your capacity and make the important work that you're doing in this coming year sustainable. It's not optional, you guys. The soft work is what makes your hard work actually work. And if you are here on this pivot point from one year to the next and you're wanting 2026 to feel different, right? To feel calmer and steadier and more intentional and more aligned, bringing even one of these rituals into your life is going to make such a difference. So just start there, right? You don't have to put all of these 5 work rituals into practice right when you get back to the office, start with one. And then if you're considering joining us inside of the January cohort of Burnout Recovery Blueprint, we go so much deeper into these kinds of nervous system aligned structures. We talk about daily rhythms and somatic practices. I have a full somatic playlist library for you guys, 40 guided tools you can use anytime, anywhere. And if you're ready to make this next year the year that you stop running on fumes and start living from a regulated, powerful, grounded center, I would love to have you inside of Burnout Recovery Blueprint when the doors open again in January. Wishing you so much goodness in this new year. Thanks for being with me today. I love y'all so much. Be well.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
Thanks for listening to Alive and Well. If today's episode resonated, would you do me a favor? Take 30 seconds and leave a 5-star rating and short review. It really helps to get this show out to other people just like you who could also use the information in this podcast. And if you're ready to take the next step in regulating your nervous system, download my free Nervous System Reset Guide. It's linked right in the show notes. Inside, you'll find simple, body-based practices to help you feel more clear, calm, and connected starting today. Make sure you're following the show so you don't miss out on what's coming next, because you were made to thrive. Fully alive, fully present, and fully well. I'll see you soon.